Before you even think about giving up, pause for a moment and watch this. Life can feel like a storm that never ends, with wave after wave of challenges crashing against you, testing your resolve. I know what that's like. There have been times when I felt completely overwhelmed, like I was sinking with no rescue in sight. Maybe you've been there too, standing at the edge, wondering if it's worth the fight, if you've got anything left to give. But here's something crucial I've learned. The times when you feel most like giving up are often when you're closest to a breakthrough. It's in these moments of darkness your true strength is revealed, and the curtain is pulled back on what you're really made of. That's why today I'm not here to offer you another pep talk. You've heard those before. Instead, I want to share 7 powerful lessons rooted deeply in Stoic philosophy. Lessons that don't just offer comfort but challenge you to grow. These aren't the kind of truths you find on motivational posters. They're raw, unapologetic, and they might go against everything you've been taught. But they carry with them the weight of centuries of wisdom, and they have the power to shift your perspective in ways you never thought possible. They're the kind of lessons that don't just get you through the storm. They help you emerge stronger, more resilient, and more centered than ever before. I've applied these principles in my own life, and they've guided me through some of the toughest periods I've ever faced. They're not easy. Nothing worth having ever is. But they're real, and they work. So if you're ready to confront the truths that could keep you standing when everything else is falling apart, then stick with me. This video isn't just another piece of content. It's a lifeline. Your journey to real, unshakable strength begins here, right now. And before we dive in, let me ask you this. What if this video holds the key to overcoming the struggle you're facing right now? What if these lessons could be the difference between giving up and breaking through? Watch to the end, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us which of these principles resonates with you the most. Because it's not just about watching, it's about engaging, reflecting, and ultimately transforming. The path ahead might be tough, but the insights you gain here could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Let's take this journey together. And remember, every challenge brings with it the seeds of triumph. All you need to do, keep moving forward. Number 1, embrace pain as a teacher. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional, wrote Haruki Murakami. What if, instead of running from pain, we saw it as an invitation, a challenge to confront ourselves at our core? Most people see pain as something to escape from. The Stoics knew better. They understood that pain, rather than being an adversary, is our greatest ally in the pursuit of growth. Pain exposes our limits and uncovers our deepest vulnerabilities, offering us a chance to see what we're truly made of. It's not there to defeat us, it's there to reveal us. I recall a time when I felt completely lost, like the ground had been pulled out from under me. I was facing one of the hardest periods of my life. Every day felt like wading through thick fog, uncertain of the next step. I wanted nothing more than to avoid the sting of reality, to bury my head in distraction. Then, a thought struck me. Principle rooted in Stoicism. Pain is a mentor, not a tormentor. Felt almost absurd at first. How could this discomfort be anything but cruel? But as I sat with my pain, I began to see its purpose. Pain demands our attention in ways comfort never can. Peels back the layers we've carefully constructed around ourselves, revealing the raw, unfiltered version of who we are. It asks us to face our fears, our insecurities, our deepest doubts. In the words of Epictetus, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. Pain forces us to reconsider those judgments and to challenge the narratives we've built. Makes us question what truly matters, pushing us to grow in directions we never would have considered. Think of the process of forging steel. The intense heat and relentless hammering don't weaken the metal. They strengthen it, shaping it into something formidable. Similarly, life's challenges mold us, refine us, and make us more resilient. The world often teaches us to seek out the easiest path, to avoid anything that might cause discomfort. But the Stoics embraced hardship, knowing it to be the crucible in which character is formed. Instead of retreating from pain, what if we leaned into it? Imagine viewing each trial as a teacher, each hardship as a lesson in disguise. This perspective doesn't make the pain any less real, but it transforms our relationship with it. It's not about enduring suffering for suffering's sake, but about recognizing that every tear, every heartache, and every challenge carries within it the seed of growth. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, so too does our spirit. There was a time I found myself completely isolated, wrestling with feelings of inadequacy. It was tempting to turn to the usual comforts, to drown out the discomfort with noise and distraction. But instead, I chose to sit with my pain, to let it speak to me. What I found was unexpected. Through the haze of discomfort, clarity began to emerge. Pain taught me patience and a deep humility. It reminded me that the darkest moments often precede the most profound transformations. Embrace your pain. Let it serve as your compass, guiding you to where you need to grow and what you need to confront. Don't dull it with temporary distractions or flee from it in fear. Stand firm, look it in the eye, and learn from it. Pain is not just an obstacle. It's an opportunity, a mentor guiding you to your highest self. And remember, the strength forged in the fires of adversity is the very strength that will see you through your most challenging times. When you embrace pain as a teacher, you unlock a power within that is both fierce and unbreakable. Number 2, solitude is power. Beware the barrenness of a busy life, warned Socrates. In today's world, where every second is filled with notifications and distractions, choosing solitude can seem almost rebellious. But what if the secret to finding clarity, strength, and purpose lies in stepping away from the noise and immersing yourself in the quiet? Solitude isn't about isolation. It's about reconnecting with your core values, what truly matters to you, without the constant hum of external influence. The Stoics believe that true wisdom comes from within. To access it, we must first be willing to face ourselves in solitude. This space, free from the relentless input of opinions and expectations, allows us to confront our own thoughts and emotions, where we can strip away the layers of superficiality and rediscover the essence of who we are. Think of solitude not as a void but as a mirror, one that reflects your truest self back to you, unclouded by the world's judgments. Consider the simple act of sitting alone with your thoughts. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, even unnerving, but it is in this discomfort that growth begins. In solitude, you have the opportunity to question your assumptions, face your fears, and challenge the narratives you've unconsciously accepted. It's a form of mental fasting, a chance to cleanse your mind of unnecessary clutter and focus on what truly matters. When I faced a particularly challenging period in my life, I decided to embrace solitude rather than flee from it. Instead of seeking the comfort of others or losing myself in distractions, I chose to spend time alone, walking through the forest trails near my home. It was during these walks that I began to listen to my own thoughts more clearly. I journaled, I meditated, and slowly, a renewed sense of purpose emerged. The clarity I gained wasn't handed to me. It was carved out in the silence of my own company. You don't need to isolate yourself for months to experience the power of solitude. Start small. Dedicate even just 10 minutes each day to be with your thoughts. Turn off your phone, find a quiet space, and just be. Use this time to ask yourself the tough question. What am I avoiding? What do I truly want? Let the stillness guide you to answers that have been buried under layers of noise and distraction. Many of the greatest minds in history, from artists to philosophers, have sought solitude as a wellspring of creativity and insight. They understood that in order to truly innovate, truly understand oneself and one's path, there must be a departure from the crowd. Solitude isn't about stepping back from life. It's about engaging with it more deeply, on your own terms. It's about finding the courage to stand alone, think independently, and to trust in your own inner wisdom. The next time you feel overwhelmed or close to giving up, remember that solitude can be a powerful refuge. It can be the place where you recharge, recalibrate, and find the strength to keep moving forward. Embrace solitude not as an escape, but as a journey inward. In the stillness, you might find that the answers you've been seeking are closer than you think, waiting in the quiet to reveal themselves. Number 3. Let go of goals. Is it possible that the goals you're chasing are holding you back? Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. We often set goals with the best intentions, believing that they will lead us to happiness and success. But what if these same goals become the very chains that trap us in a cycle of dissatisfaction? The Stoics understood that while direction is important, rigid attachment to specific outcomes can be detrimental. They taught us to focus on the process, to find contentment in the present moment, and to trust in the natural flow of life. When I was younger, I was consumed by the need to achieve. I crafted detailed lists filled with ambitious goals, believing that each one was a stepping stone to my ultimate success. I visualized the future constantly, affirming to myself that with enough effort, I could control my destiny. But as time passed, those goals began to weigh on me. Every setback felt like a personal failure, and every unmet milestone chipped away at my confidence. What was meant to inspire me started to feel like a burden, and I realized I had become a prisoner to my own expectations. The Stoics remind us that we can't control the outcomes of our efforts, only our efforts themselves. This realization was both humbling and liberating. I began to let go of my rigid goals, shifting my focus from the end result to the quality of the journey. I asked myself, what can I do today to move forward, and embrace the daily practice of doing my best, without the suffocating pressure of needing a specific result. It was like releasing a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Imagine you're a gardener, tending to a plant. If you obsess over how tall it will grow, or how quickly it will bloom, you miss the joy of nurturing it daily. The act of caring for the plant, watering it, ensuring it gets sunlight, watching it change day by day, is where the real satisfaction lies. Whether or not it grows as you hope is beyond your control. This is how we should approach our goals, with care and attention, but without the anxiety of needing them to turn out a certain way. Here's a practical approach. Rather than fixating on a specific goal, like earning a promotion by a certain date, focus on the habits that will lead you there. Be excellent in your work, seek opportunities to grow, and cultivate relationships with your colleagues. By concentrating on what you can do in the present, you not only reduce the stress associated with rigid timelines, but you also open yourself up to unexpected opportunities and paths you may not have considered. The Stoic wisdom is clear. Life is unpredictable, and no amount of planning can change that. By letting go of strict goals, we become more adaptable, more resilient, and more in tune with the natural course of events. It's about setting intentions and taking deliberate actions while remaining open to where the journey takes you. This flexibility is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. It allows you to flow with life's currents rather than being swept away by them. Since I adopted this mindset, I've found more peace and fulfillment in my life. I still have dreams, but I no longer tie my happiness to their achievement. Instead, I focus on what I can do each day to move closer to my values and aspirations. I trust that the journey will unfold as it should, with all its twists and turns. The Stoics knew that true success lies not in reaching a specific destination, but in the growth and learning that happens along the way. So, when you feel overwhelmed by your goals, take a step back. Release the need for specific outcomes and immerse yourself in the present moment. Trust that by doing your best each day, you are exactly where you need to be. The journey is where life happens, and it's in embracing this journey that you find true strength and resilience. Number 4. Seek challenges, not comfort. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Bruce Lee once said, "It's a sentiment that resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy." We are often led to believe that a comfortable life is a desirable one. Safety and predictability are the ultimate goals. But the Stoics knew that true strength and wisdom are forged in the fires of adversity, not in the ease of comfort. The path of least resistance rarely leads to growth. We live in a society that constantly encourages us to avoid discomfort. From a young age, we're taught to choose security over uncertainty, to seek jobs that offer stability rather than challenge, to surround ourselves with people who think like us. The narrative is clear. Stay safe, stay comfortable, avoid risk. But what if comfort is not the haven it's made out to be, but rather a deceptive cage that keeps us from discovering our true potential? I remember a period in my life when I played it safe. I took a job that didn't challenge me, stayed in relationships that were easy but unfulfilling, and avoided any situation that might lead to discomfort or failure. On the surface, everything seemed fine, but beneath that veneer of stability, I felt stagnant, like I was merely existing rather than truly living. It wasn't until I pushed myself to step out of my comfort zone that I started to feel alive again. Think of challenges like the sharpening stone to a blade. Without it, the blade remains dull, ineffective, untested. By embracing challenges, we allow ourselves to be honed, become sharper, more resilient, and better equipped to face life's unpredictable nature. I decided to sign up for a triathlon, a daunting task considering I had never been an athlete. The training was relentless, pushing me to my physical and mental limits. There were days I wanted to quit, when the pain and exhaustion seemed too much to bear. But each time I pushed through, I discovered a reservoir of strength I didn't know I had. The Stoics remind us that it's not the easy path that builds character, but the difficult one. When we deliberately seek out challenges, we're not seeking hardship for its own sake, but the growth that comes from it. This is how resilience is built, by facing adversity, not avoiding it. Just as a tree grows stronger roots when it is exposed to the wind, so do we grow stronger when we face life's inevitable storms. Here's a practical step you can take today. Identify an area of your life where you've been choosing comfort over growth. Maybe it's avoiding a tough conversation, staying in a job that doesn't fulfill you, or shying away from a personal goal because it seems too hard. Make a commitment to face that challenge head-on. Break it down into smaller, manageable steps if you need to. Start moving toward it today. The goal isn't to achieve something overnight, but to train your mind to seek growth rather than comfort. Remember the words of Friedrich Nietzsche, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." It's in facing adversity that we uncover our true capabilities, our inner strength. Comfort, on the other hand, is like a warm blanket on a cold night. Feels good in the moment, but doesn't prepare you for the chill of the morning. If you stay wrapped in it too long, you never experience the invigorating challenge of stepping into the cold, testing your limits, and of growing stronger in the process. So the next time you're faced with a choice between the easy way and the hard way, lean into the challenge. Step into the discomfort, not because you enjoy pain, but because you understand that on the other side of that discomfort is growth. On the other side of fear is freedom. Comfort zones are indeed safe, but nothing ever grows there. Seek challenges, and you'll find strength, resilience, and a life of fulfillment waiting for you. Number 5. Detach from emotion. Is it possible to experience the storm without being swept away by it? This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The great philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Our emotions, though natural, often lead us astray when left unchecked. It can cloud our judgment, distort our perspective, and weaken our resolve. The Stoics understood that while emotions are an integral part of the human experience, true strength lies in our ability to detach from them, not by suppressing or ignoring them, but by mastering our reactions to them. Imagine your emotions as wild horses, powerful and untamed. Left unchecked, they can pull you in every direction, leaving you disoriented and exhausted. But when you learn to rein them in, to guide them with a steady hand, they become a source of strength, driving you forward with purpose and clarity. This is the art of emotional detachment. It's not about becoming unfeeling. It's about gaining the clarity and composure necessary to navigate life's challenges with grace. Here's a practical approach rooted in Stoic practice. When you feel a surge of emotion, be it anger, fear, or sadness, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Is it guiding me, or is it misleading me? By creating this space between feeling and reaction, you gain control over your responses. You move from being reactive to being proactive, choosing your actions based on reason rather than impulse. The Stoics didn't advocate for a life devoid of emotions. On the contrary, they believed in fully engaging with life, but with a calm and steady mind. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced countless adversities, from wars to personal losses, yet he maintained an inner peace that allowed him to lead with wisdom and strength. His secret? Emotional detachment. By refusing to be swayed by the whims of his emotions, he could see situations clearly and act in the best interest of his people and himself. Consider a time when you let emotions dictate your action. Perhaps you lashed out in anger or made a hasty decision out of fear. How did that serve you? More often than not, it likely led to regret or further complications. The next time you find yourself on the brink of an emotional reaction, remember the Stoic principle. Step back, breathe, and choose your response. It's like standing on the shore, watching the waves crash in. Powerful, yes, but not overwhelming if you remain grounded. Another powerful technique is to reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing a setback as a personal failure, view it as an opportunity for growth. This shift in mindset transforms your emotional response from despair to determination. It's the difference between being a passive victim of circumstances and an active participant in your own life. Detachment from emotions doesn't mean detachment from life. In fact, it means engaging more fully with life, but with a mind that is clear, balanced, and resilient. It's about finding strength in calmness and clarity in chaos. When you learn to master your emotions, you don't just survive adversity, you thrive in it. You become a pillar of stability, not just for yourself but for those around you, inspiring confidence and trust. So, when emotions rise like a storm within you, don't let them steer your course. Detach, observe, and then choose your path with wisdom and intention. As Epictetus wisely noted, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Master your emotions, and you will master your life. Number 6, be your own advocate. Who will protect your dreams if you won't? This question is more than a call to action. It's a reminder of a fundamental truth. You are the primary guardian of your destiny. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control every outcome in life, we are fully in control of how we position ourselves within it. Seneca once wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Self-advocacy is not about waiting for life to grant you opportunities. It's about stepping forward and claiming your worth, even when it's uncomfortable. In a world filled with distractions and competing voices, it's easy to let your own needs and desires get drowned out. We're often conditioned to believe that hard work alone will get us noticed, that someone will see our efforts and reward us accordingly. But the reality is, waiting for recognition or permission from others often leads to frustration and missed opportunities. Being your own advocate means understanding your value and ensuring that it's seen and acknowledged. It's about not waiting for others to open doors for you, but knocking on them yourself. And if they don't open, finding another way in. Think back to a time when you held back from speaking up for yourself. Maybe you thought if you were just patient enough, your efforts would be recognized. I used to believe that as well. I once waited years for a promotion that never came, thinking my dedication and quiet diligence would speak for itself. But all it did was keep me stuck. It wasn't until I decided to step forward and articulate my achievements that things began to change. I approached my supervisor, not with arrogance, but with clarity, laying out my contributions and expressing my desire for growth. The result wasn't just a promotion. It was a shift in how I viewed myself. I realized that self-advocacy is a necessary skill, not just for career advancement, but for personal empowerment. To start being your own advocate today, take a moment to list your strengths and achievements. Reflect on what you bring to the table, your unique skills, experiences, and contributions. Then, begin to practice self-advocacy in small but meaningful ways. Speak up in meetings, share your ideas confidently, and don't shy away from highlighting your successes. It's not about boasting. It's about being clear on your value. Every time you assert yourself, you reinforce your worth and train others to see you in the same light. Being your own advocate is like building a fortress. Each act of self-assertion is a brick that strengthens your defenses, making you more resilient to the opinions and judgments of others. The Stoics understood that true freedom comes from within. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for others to define his worth as an emperor. He lived by his principles and let his actions speak for themselves. Likewise, advocating for yourself is about defining your path, standing firm in your values, and ensuring that your voice is heard. There will be moments when advocating for yourself feels uncomfortable, when the fear of rejection or conflict might make you second-guess whether it's worth it. But remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Each time you speak up for yourself, you not only strengthen your sense of self-worth, but also develop a resilience that will carry you through future challenges. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Consider the words of Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the unimaginable horrors of the Holocaust. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Advocating for yourself is an act of transformation. It's about taking control of your narrative and being the main character in your own story, rather than a passive observer waiting for something to happen. Remember, self-advocacy is not just about demanding more from others. It's about expecting more from yourself. It's about knowing your worth and not settling for less. Protect your mental and emotional well-being by standing up for what you deserve. Say no to what drains you, and yes to what fuels your growth. You are the steward of your own life, and only you can decide how far you're willing to go to ensure that your potential is fully realized. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission to be great. Advocate for yourself with boldness and conviction, and watch as the world begins to mirror your belief in yourself. Number 7. Accept the journey, not just the destination. Is the goal truly the prize, or is it the journey that shapes you? The Stoics believed that every step we take is meaningful, not just the ones that lead to our desired destination. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Life is a winding path, filled with highs and lows, and it is in navigating these twists and turns that we discover our true selves. The journey is not a means to an end. It is the experience that defines us. Too often we become fixated on the destination, reaching the peak, crossing the finish line, or achieving a specific outcome. We forget that the path to these goals is where real growth occurs. The journey is where we learn to overcome obstacles, to adapt to unexpected changes, and to build the resilience necessary to face future challenges. Not just about getting there, it's about who you become along the way. Here's a practical step to embrace this Stoic wisdom. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what the journey is teaching you. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I grow from today's challenges? This practice allows you to see the value in every experience, not just the ones that bring you closer to your goals. It's a reminder that even setbacks and failures are valuable teachers, guiding you toward wisdom and strength. Imagine life as a marathon, not a sprint. In a marathon, every mile teaches you something new about your body, your mind, and your spirit. Same is true of life. If you're constantly looking toward the finish line, you miss the lessons of endurance, moments of pain that shape your character, and the joy found in small victories along the way. The journey itself is like a great teacher, constantly offering lessons if we are willing to listen. The Stoics understood that accepting the journey means embracing every part of it: the joy, the pain, the uncertainty, and the triumph. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself that each day was a new opportunity to practice virtue, to be courageous, just, and wise, regardless of the outcome. The process of living with integrity, of striving to be your best self, is what truly matters. The destination is merely a byproduct of the journey. So how can you apply this in your own life? Start by letting go of rigid expectations. Instead of fixating on where you need to be in a year or even a month, focus on what you can do today. Commit to the actions that align with your values, knowing that these small, daily efforts are what build a meaningful life. Celebrate each step, no matter how small, because every step forward is progress. Remember the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson: life is a journey, not a destination. This perspective frees you from the constant pressure of achieving and allows you to be fully present in each moment. When you accept the journey, open yourself up to a richer, more fulfilling experience. You learn to see every twist and turn as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The road ahead may be long and filled with challenges, but it is also filled with endless possibilities. Embrace the journey with all its ups and downs, and you will find that each experience, whether joyous or painful, adds depth to your character and strength to your spirit. The destination will come in its own time, but the journey is yours to shape every day. Let it be a journey of purpose, growth, and profound discovery. As we close this journey together, remember that the essence of Stoic philosophy isn't about avoiding life's challenges, but embracing them as opportunities for growth. Each principle we've discussed is a stepping stone toward building a more resilient, courageous, and purpose-driven life. These lessons are about finding strength in adversity, clarity in chaos, and wisdom in every experience. They guide us to become our best selves, not by what we achieve, but by how we face each day. These ideas resonate with you. Subscribe to the channel for more insights that can help you on your path. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below sharing which lesson impacted you the most and how you plan to apply it in your life. Together, we can learn and grow stronger with each challenge we face. Stay strong and keep embracing the journey.